Think for yourself. Question authority.
What's up, guys? Welcome back. Now, today Nintendo revealed that they will be releasing this revision that we talked about in August in the United States and I believe in September in Europe. It's going to retail for the same price. They're going to have different colored Joy-Cons available, and it's going to have greatly increased battery life. So that rumor was correct, and the battery life will be increased from 2.5 to 6 hours on the original Switch to 4.5 to 9 hours on this revision. But there's definitely some really strange things going on here with this announcement in regards to the rumored information. Of course, even from Emily Rogers, she did rumor actually at first that this would be an enhanced Nintendo Switch with increased clock speeds and upgraded CPU, bigger internal storage space, and that this revision would come in 2 new colors. So none of those things were true. The only thing that actually came true was the increased battery life. And then another strange thing is that she went on Twitter and said that this is the enhanced Nintendo Switch reported by the Wall Street Journal that was gonna have enhanced features targeted at avid video gamers. But personally, I would have waited for at least Mochizuki from the Wall Street Journal to actually come out and say something about this revision, because as of recording this, he's had all day to say something and he hasn't said a word about this revision, not one word. He was the first to report this back in 2018, and immediately after the Switch Lite was announced last week, he himself went onto Twitter and said that he'll wait for the next one. Well, here is this revision, and I'm still waiting for him to say something about it. He has been completely silent. And on top of that, if this is in fact exactly the console that the Wall Street Journal was reporting on since last year, and all it did was increase the battery life, that basically proves the Wall Street Journal's information was false, because they said that this version will have enhanced features targeted at avid video gamers, although it wouldn't be as powerful as PS4 Pro and Xbox One X, signifying this would have been an upgraded Nintendo Switch, not just in features but in specs. Otherwise, he would have talked about it being not as powerful as a PS4 or Xbox One, which you already know the Switch isn't as powerful because that's what it is. And then you have the information from Eurogamer even that reported that this enhanced Nintendo Switch would be like a new 3DS upgrade. And if you recall, the new 3DS was over twice as powerful as the original 3DS. So either everyone's wrong about how they reported on this enhanced Nintendo Switch, or this revision quite possibly isn't the one that these publications are talking about. I don't see the point of the Wall Street Journal even reporting on this at all back in 2018 if all they were going to do is increase battery life and that was it. And like I said, there still hasn't been any comment or confirmation that this is actually that console that Mochizuki was talking about from the Wall Street Journal. So I would at least wait for him to confirm, and then we can go on and talk about what's happening next. But I find it funny that if this is the case, then basically everyone reporting this information was incorrect. Even Nikkei reported that after the cost-effective version of the Switch Lite, there would be a full model upgrade to the Nintendo Switch. So something's going on here. I have a feeling that this is not quite the only announcement we're gonna have in the not too distant future, obviously, which I also brought out in my last video. And there's quite a few of you out there who watch my videos who I've talked to offline that I did warn about this, that there would be people out there saying that this would be the only Switch that was coming for the rest of 2019 or the not too distant future. But as usual, we need to wait a little bit till the dust settles and actually hear some follow-up information from the people who actually reported these rumored consoles, like the Wall Street Journal, who hasn't said anything just yet. And also, I need to update my information for what I talked about with the FCC stuff. I didn't realize how crazy in-depth the FCC information was. There was over 76 pages to go through on those FCC reports submitted by Nintendo. All that test data for this revision of the Nintendo Switch, the HAC-001-01. And there was something really interesting I found out about that test report that I didn't even realize before when I was talking about it. However, I want to make clear that everything I reported on in those last 2 videos that I talked about all this stuff was in fact the truth. However, there was one oversight that I didn't realize, and I'm going to show it to you here, is that amazingly enough, all those tests on this HAC-001-01 was done back in July through September of 2018. So this is a very old revision that Nintendo basically is releasing now. And the weird thing is, Nintendo didn't request for the Class 2 change until July 2nd, 2019. Almost a full year after those tests were already completed with the FCC by Nintendo. So this change of SoC type, change of NAND memory type, and change of the motherboard are things that just happened, and those tests were done a long time ago. And this revised Nintendo Switch is basically the exact same Nintendo Switch you've owned for the last 2 years or so. There's no change except for the increased battery life because of the chip, because it seems like that Tegra X1 processor, that revised version of it, is getting a lot better yields like we discussed in that last video, and is using a lot less power consumption to increase battery life. That was one of the biggest problems with the Tegra X1 processor back in 2016 on those phones that they were in. They had really bad battery life and a lot of them were overheating. So it looks like after almost 5 years, NVIDIA and the production of the Tegra X1 has finally reached a point where they have reached the full potential of what that chip can do for power consumption savings. It doesn't appear, according to the data miners, that there's any die shrinking here going on. It looks like this is just a better functioning chip. So that's why this Class 2 permissive change by Nintendo with the FCC almost a year after the fact that they did those tests is really strange to me, because it doesn't make any sense, because it doesn't look like Nintendo changed anything with the NAND memory type on this revision of the Nintendo Switch, because it's exactly the same console, just better battery life. So I'm just going to leave that alone for now, because there's nothing more I can say about it really. We'll have to wait and see, maybe with the teardown, to see what's going on. So this remains a mystery that maybe we'll come back to at another time, but for now we're going to move on from it, and we're going to wait for possibly follow-up information from the Wall Street Journal. And it's good to do that, because if you recall with the Nintendo NX, the Wall Street Journal and Mochizuki right away said, hey, you know, this is what we were talking about, this is the Nintendo NX, so on and so forth. Now here we have this revision revealed, and they're silent. There's no word at all from Mochizuki yet on this. So definitely wait and see what he says. Moving on to the really cool thing that I did discover here with this revision. In this video, I'm going to confirm, yes, confirm enhanced features not included in this released revision that Nintendo just announced today. And the feature that we're going to confirm is Bluetooth LE support, Bluetooth Low Energy. If you are not aware, the current Nintendo Switch does not support Bluetooth LE, which is the ability to sync things like wireless headphones to your console and for it to be recognized by other wireless devices. The current Switch cannot do that, and it was not reported that this revision has Bluetooth LE support either. What we're looking at here is a comparison between the December 21st, 2016 testing of the original Nintendo Switch hardware, and they're doing the configuration of peripherals test. And you see here in the comparison that the original Nintendo Switch was being tested without any Bluetooth low energy ability, because basically the functionality was not enabled on that console. Now here we have Bluetooth low energy being tested in full force on this new Switch that they're testing here. Bluetooth low energy is in fact capable on this new console, and it was not reported on today that this revised Nintendo Switch with increased battery life can in fact also do Bluetooth low energy. It was not even reported on. That is not a small feature to add. That is actually something that fans have been requesting ever since the Nintendo Switch was revealed back in 2016. They were hoping for Bluetooth LE support to connect things like wireless headphones of many different types, and Bluetooth LE is used by everyone in the world basically. If you have a smartphone, you use Bluetooth LE probably every single day, whether you're in your car, you're listening to your music, what have you. But Bluetooth LE is a standard feature that all devices have these days. So what's really awesome about this is that Nintendo can actually at any moment with this new revision is do a firmware update and enable Bluetooth LE, because this revision is actually capable of doing Bluetooth LE. This is the proof and confirmation that Nintendo is preparing to add Bluetooth LE to the Nintendo Switch platform in a future firmware update, most likely, since it is physically capable and they did factually test it out and it works. So I do believe that I'm the first to actually report on this, and this is the truth. They can actually do this on this revision of the Nintendo Switch. And as we showed in the previous testing, they did not even attempt to do this at all on the original Nintendo Switch. Obviously they had no plans or no intention, or they didn't have the support for Bluetooth LE at all on the original model. And earlier today, before I looked deeper into this information, I thought that this quite possibly could lead into a different console that they were testing. But since I did discover that they did all these tests, including for Bluetooth LE, in July through September 2018, this does confirm that they can do this on this brand new revision, and Nintendo did not announce it at all, which is a mystery as to why they did not. But hey, maybe this is a hint that they will add it in a future firmware update. And on top of all this information, the revision talk, the enhanced switch talk, pro model talk, all that stuff, we actually do have a new hint or rumor, would you say, that a more powerful Switch is in fact still coming in the not too distant future. So no, I don't think these rumors or talk of an enhanced Nintendo Switch and more powerful Switch are going to stop anytime soon because of stuff like this. We just had an interview with GameRevolution.com with Dan Hernberg, head of production at Panic Button, and he actually teased that a Switch Pro or enhanced model was coming. The interviewer said, "I was hoping Nintendo would announce a Switch Pro," referring to when Nintendo announced the Switch Lite. That would be cool, he said. That's all he said. He didn't ask Dan if Nintendo was releasing an enhanced version of the Switch. He just said that would be cool. And then Dan in reply said, no comment. You're welcome to speculate. I'll just drink my coffee. So I don't know about you guys, but that is a red flag right there. Whenever someone says no comment and you're welcome to speculate, more often than not in the gaming industry, that means that yes, that something, whatever it is coming, whether it be a game port, a new console, what have you. Usually when a developer is asked questions about ports, they say, no, we have no plans at this time. And I've seen fans jump all over the place and say, hey, he said not this time, which means that it could come later in the future, right? And sometimes that is the case, that it happened. However, he's actually not even commenting at all on that, which is a big red flag in my opinion. And of course, if any developer would know that a new, more powerful Switch was coming, it would be Panic Button for sure. And no doubt, they had been asking Nintendo for an upgrade for quite a long time with all the effort they put into games like Doom and Wolfenstein: The New Colossus. No doubt they have been kind of, probably pecking at Nintendo here and there. Hey, we could use a little bit more power there. Games would look and run even better. And Panic Button is interesting. They have actually teased game announcements in the past, and they have come true like in a month or 2 months after they teased them. And this wasn't even a question directed at Panic Button if a Switch Pro is coming. All the guy said was that this would be cool. That was a very odd response, almost like it was purposely dropped there to make you think just a little bit, right? So we will have to wait and see, of course, as usual, but that was very interesting that he said that. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for this video. If you did enjoy it, please hit the like button, subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you very soon in the next video. Have a great day.